Hey everybody, growing up in the 1970s, those of us who are that old can remember seeing a big blanket of smog out throughout the valley. Some days are so bad you couldn't even play outside. You know what? Those days, fortunately, are in our past because of a lot of smarter folks came before me who decided that it was a good idea to actually restrict emissions, and particularly from cars and trucks. And California's led the way. In fact, because of a waiver that's available at the federal level, we've been able to enact regulations that have not only saved lives and reduced a lot of human misery and health challenges, but in fact saved a lot of money. In fact, the projections are over the next decade and a half, we could be saving those who drive cars fueled by gasoline more than $55 billion because that would be the savings in gas, even if we had more expensive vehicles as a result of some of these clean air regulations. Well, some Republicans here in the House and the Senate, in fact, all of them, are trying to eliminate those very regulations. Even though at the federal level, we've long had for a half century a waiver that has allowed California and 13 other states that want to follow our lead to have that kind of clean air. And they've done so this week in the House of Representatives using a procedure called the Congressional Review Act that uses something called rescission, where the Congress tries to eliminate some regulation or rule that the executive branch has passed. Well, it just so happens that although the House Republicans got 3 of these rescissions enacted and passed this week, they can't get over the goal line in the Senate under the rules because the Senate parliamentarian says, guess what, rescission doesn't apply to Clean Air Act waivers, which is what this is that allows California to do all this. It's not actually a rule, apparently. That's what the rules of the Senate are. And apparently not just the parliamentarian thinks that. Congressional Research Service said the same thing last week. So guess what? The big question is, after all this work in the House of Representatives to try to eliminate all these clean air standards that have helped 13 states make their communities safer and save a lot of money, we are now going to face a situation in the Senate where senators are either going to decide to follow the rules, their own rules, or not. This is going to be a challenge for Republicans to stand up for whether or not they believe in the rule of law. Let's see how it goes in the next 2 weeks. Fair to say, many of us have concerns.